Hello, and welcome to another edition of the CatCast with your host, Cat Kennison. We hope to have another exciting podcast today as we've been studying religion lately here. We're going to continue with that theme because it's just getting a lot of responses and I'm enjoying talking about it. And it just seems like it's going to go that way for a little while right now. Until the government decides to open back up, I don't really want to discuss it anymore because right now I'm really fed up with politics. It looks like the people that are crazy are now winning, and it looks like they'll never want to agree to anything now. So because it looks like that benefited them. So I have a feeling that we're not going to be discussing it for a little while, and I'm enjoying the religion thing because it seems like there are more people participating and helping to enlighten Cat. Where with politics, I'm not getting any feedback because Democrats don't like to ever dialogue. They just would rather shoot you. So we're going to move along and continue with the religion subject because, again, I'm getting a lot of responses. And good, bad, indifferent, I enjoy talking about this. And it seems like a lot of other people do too. So with no further ado, we're going to get right back into this because it seems that it's just dominating my mind and a lot of other people's minds when you actually compare things and think about things in a logical way, like Spock from Star Trek. Remember to take emotion out of the situation and look at it logically. That's what we're going to do. So we'll go with the people that we've got here as far as responses, and I will read them and then address them because it seems to work rather well. So this particular gentleman, I believe it's a gentleman, has been responding quite a lot, and I really appreciate him. It's the guy with the 4 A's in his name, AAA, and then I think it's LKAHTANI 9185. So I'm just going to call him 9185 because that's really easy. 2320, I believe that's a chapter verse from the Quran. Well, I'm not sure why he put that in there actually, because what he says here is that's the great that you acknowledge the editing. I'm assuming he's saying that's great that I acknowledge the editing. You have a book which is still as its form, as it's revealed from the Creator according to Muhammad. You can confirm if there are changes or edits with ChatGPT. And to start to read it, it's worthy just or add to your knowledge. Now, I'm not arguing that that one's been edited at all, the Quran. What my purpose is it was written by one person. And sure, you can say that it's from the Creator directly, but we don't know that, okay? That's basically what has been told to us. And so there's no way to check that with ChatGPT because we would have to go back in time to when this all was going down to really know. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. Sure, yours could be uncorrupted, but it's still just one person saying it. That's where I have a little issue with it, if you understand what I'm saying. Let's continue. He then, this is 9185 again, and he puts a verse here, 1744, chapter verse, I believe. His birth was a special miracle, like the other prophets who had their own miracles. Moses had the parting of the sea. Mohammed had the Quran. Noah had the gigantic ark. Jonah had the whale and Solomon had great miracles and was a very powerful king. No other prophet revealed his level of miracles. If we try to compare them, all of them performed their miracles by the power of God. While they were ordinary humans walking here and there are verses in the Quran and the Bible that confirm that Jesus and the other prophets did not perform miracles by their own power, but by the power of God supporting them, in order to prove to people that they were messengers. Let's go back to the top. When he brings up Moses part of the sea, Muhammad had the Quran, Noah had the gigantic ark, Jonah had the whale. We haven't found the ark. We don't know if that story's even true. I kind of think it's true to a point, but not a literal point, you know? I know there was a flood, but it wasn't the entire world. It would have been the entire world to that civilization, because can you imagine the flood just covering an area so fast from a glacier that melted, and then it broke an ice dam which caused all this water to pour in, and it would flood like unbelievable. But I don't actually believe that Noah put all those people on a boat and did all that stuff. To me, it seems unlogical. The only way that could be done if that was done with DNA. A DNA bank could be done. But everybody knows that if you just took two of every animal, there's going to be genetic birth defects because there won't be a diverse enough gene pool. If you even go back to our civilization, there was a point where there were only 5,000 breedable females left, and that bottlenecked us, and that's why we don't have as much diversity as we possibly could have. Okay? So if you actually believe that story is true, there's a lot of issues with it. For one, that boat, I don't even want to get into that, but I'm just going to say the miracle of the Quran that you're attributing to Muhammad is not provable, just like we can't prove that the ark, or we can't prove that Jonah was in the whale. None of those things are provable. Now we have faith and we believe in them, but you're asking me to take a leap of faith that he was actually having God speak to him. And to me, I'm not against saying that's a possibility. What I'm just saying, why are you against the possibility that that person could also be a swindler, like the guy that came up with the Mormon religion? I'm not saying that is the case. I don't know. But you put a lot of faith in the fact that that person was 100% honest, you know? And why would he just speak to the one person with that? Why would he have not shared it with other people? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense to me. It's when you have one person and having all that power. And I know you guys all say, well, back then he did all the things like Jesus, but he still did things that weren't right in my mind. The only thing I can think of that Jesus did wrong was when he got mad in the temple and threw the tables up. Now, he did have the animals removed before he did that, but he got angry. And we're not supposed to let our tempers get the best of it. I heard also when he was young that somebody was unhappy with the job that Joseph had done in some carpentry, and Jesus might have done something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know why I went off on that tangent. Let's just continue. All right, this person was very, very polite. I'm going to try to Xavier Trex, maybe? XAVIERTREX 9410. All right. Hello, Kat. I am a revert. I was originally Jehovah's Witness, and then in parentheses he says, I know, yikes. Then converted to Christianity. I never knew that mainstream Christianity worshipped Jesus as God. I have always seen him as a great prophet and messenger of God. When I would pray, I always prayed to God, which would be God the Father in Christianity. I started doing more research about Islam and converted to it with the help of my Muslim friend. I learned a lot about Christianity, Islam, and other religions and spiritual beliefs. As an example, Shamanism, Shamanism. I know it would be difficult for you at a time to discuss topics or debate. This is the first video I've watched of you, and I want to say that please continue to be patient. There will be times where my fellow Muslim brothers may say something that may be perceived as harsh or rude. Please understand that with widespread hatred from both sides, things will be difficult, but I have confidence that your journey will be fruitful. Inshallah, God willing, you will find answers. And I will read my response to him or her. Thank you for the wonderful comment. I just wish they would understand that being mean is not going to bring people around to their belief, and I don't believe that God would want you fighting with others this way. It's not constructive. Peace be with you, my friend. It's interesting though. They were a Jehovah's Witness. Then they're like me, saying they never prayed to Jesus. They prayed to God. We don't really pray to Jesus. We pray to God. Jesus is there by his side now. But I still have a lot of issues with people talking about the Trinity and being like that's three gods, because I will never accept that as being three gods. Because our God is very specific about having nobody above or before him, just like the Muslim God. That's why I keep having the issues, because I'm like, that's the one thing I remember. No gods before me. Do you understand? Am I making sense to the Muslims when our God says the same thing? No gods before me. And that can mean a vice, That could mean smoking, drinking, anything like that before them. It doesn't just mean another God. Anything that you worship more than God is another God, if you understand what I'm saying. So we believe the same thing. And I've been worshiping the God of Abraham, the same God that you're worshiping. It seems like all we're fighting over is the stuff that came after, which really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If we believe in the same God, the stuff that came later doesn't matter. Because again, that could have been created by man, not God. I don't know if I'm making sense to you, but you guys put so much faith in Muhammad, and I know you're going to say, well, you put a lot of faith in Jesus, which is true, I guess. But again, I don't want to offend Muslims, and it's really hard for me not to, because there's that one issue that drives me nuts. Nobody yet has addressed it to me. Nobody. I wonder why. Why will nobody address that one issue with me? Why did he marry his 6-year-old cousin? And why did he consummate it when she was 9? Please. I need to know that. I don't think that's cool. Nobody has said anything about that yet. Let's continue. Allah said saving one human life is like saving all humanity. There is hundreds of commandments in the Old Testament, and Jesus used to follow it and accepted some of it, so it's praying and also other actions as you can. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. I did talk about saving somebody. Let's continue. It's the same guy that's been talking to us, 9185, the one with 4 A's in his name. Jerusalem is the holy city. It's the first direction for prayer. The prophet prayed to God toward Jerusalem for years. Then God blessed him and appointed the Kaaba to be the direction. It's God's decision, not us. And at the end of the day, it's just a direction to unify all people, to have one direction rather than each pray to where he wants to. And I responded to him, I just don't understand why praying in a direction matters at all. If anything, you should pray to the sky. The heavens are above. And it looks like he's responded to me since that. That's also a preference for you. The reason is to have only one direction for all believers. The holy places are chosen by Allah, not us. Side note, Mecca is in the center point of the earth. You can check that. Okay. Maybe. Again, the only thing that it really does, though, is direct all Muslims, not all people. And since I'm not from Mecca, it makes me feel like I'm less important, you know. I understand what you said about Jerusalem as well, but I don't think you need to pray in a direction. I just don't think God, my God, cares about that, you know. What he would rather care about is us be unified in love, don't you think? You know, instead of hate and praying in the same direction, I think he'd rather we unify in love. Do you think our God really wants you to hate people of a different religion? Because I don't. And sure, you might want to witness and try to bring them to your faith, but that doesn't mean to force or coerce them into it. If they don't come of free mind, it means nothing. If you force people into your religion, it means nothing. If you shame them or make them fear, it means nothing to God, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that Muslims will pay you to become Muslim. That is not good, in my opinion. That's almost shameful. And then I've heard once you become Muslim, and if you're around them and you do something wrong, they will punish you for it. Instead of letting God take care of it, they choose to punish you. And we're not talking about breaking laws, you know, we're talking about you not pray the right way or do something like that, then they will punish you. I don't believe that men should punish other men for that. That should be God to take care of that. You shouldn't pay people to be in your religion either. And anybody that takes that looks like they're just taking it for the money. Okay? So I continue to have issues. We'll keep going. This is great stuff, though. Again from our friend here, 9185. The Quran doesn't say that God put someone in his place on the cross. Oh. I'm intrigued. It's Muslim scholars' interpretation. In case they got it right, God is just and he will not punish an innocent person. So maybe he was the one who brought a lot of pain to the messenger, therefore Allah punished him. My response is, I don't believe God punishes here on earth anymore. I don't believe he did that. Maybe Old Testament, but I don't believe he did that. But I am very interested in the part where you said that the Quran never said somebody took his place, that some Muslim scholars' interpretation of that intrigues me, and you could always tell me more about that. See, that's interesting. So there is interpretation among Muslim scholars, because from what I was hearing originally, it's all in the Quran, and now I'm hearing from you, these Muslim scholars made that interpretation. So that makes it just like you guys are doing the same thing that the Christians are doing. Right? You get what I'm saying? This is interesting, though. This guy is really interesting because he talks about it very eloquently and interesting. He responded to me again after I wrote him. God said in the Quran about the unjust people and wrongdoing, people that he will punish them in this life and in the hereafter. It could be by sickness or stress and confusion or money or anything. May Allah protect us. Again, I believe in free will, and God did that to Job, okay? He let the devil do those things to Jesus. But nowadays, I don't believe God punishes you that way here on earth. I understand that you do believe that. I don't. I believe if he did that, then what would be the point of us trying to reach salvation? If he's just going to punish them here, and that's going to make them feel even lower. I mean, then that sometimes makes people come to God. But if he's doing this kind of stuff to them, then it's not free will. It's not free will of them coming to God. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to make my point in a very clear way. Can't answer that because I'm doing my podcast. Anyways, that's the issue I have. I don't think he's going to do that. But you guys do. What's the point of the afterlife to get punished if he's going to punish you here and then there? Just to extra punish you? Just asking. I don't know. These things don't make sense to me. I don't believe God punishes you here on earth. But that's just an opinion, again, that I have. It sounds like you guys believe differently. So, but this is so interesting. I'm very interested in all of this. Here we go again with 9185. I want to make it clear here that Jesus tried his best to get away from the suffering on the cross, weeping and begging God to rescue him from that. He didn't want it because he did nothing wrong to be punished. That's true. I don't think he was begging, though. He said, Lord, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. Does that sound like he's begging God? He's asking them to forgive them. I don't remember him begging God. I remember the other guy on the cross. And I remember the other guy on the cross was hating him, and one of them was loving on him. Okay? All right. Yes, Christians want to put him there and make him suffering so that sins will be wiped. That is what we have been told. That was what we were told. That cleans up everything. But you don't say it like we wanted it. This is what had to happen by our teachings. Okay? So nobody really wanted it. It's what had to happen, at least from our perspective. So I don't like you saying like we wanted it, We just wanted what God wants, Like you always, when you pray, you say if it's God's will. Because sometimes you pray things and you don't know if that's God's will or not. So you pray if it's your will. Okay? Does that make sense? This is good stuff, though. Very good stuff. It's crazy how you treat him. It's not crazy. We love Jesus. We love Jesus, okay? That's how he was treated in the past, okay? By people who didn't like him. Because maybe they were doing their own religion thing. Maybe it was all about they wanted money, and he was taking away from their money. Think about it, okay? It's it's not crazy. You have to understand our perspective, okay? And I'm trying to understand yours. It's not crazy. It makes more sense than God rescuing him and punishing another person. which apparently your scholars have interpreted. Oh, just put Judas up there. He was mean. He betrayed Jesus 3 times, and every time Jesus forgave him. That was the message. Don't you think Judas felt bad enough after that? Don't you think he felt bad? Oh, man, if he did not feel guilt, I'd be amazed, because I don't think he was a psychopath. Psychopaths don't feel guilt. I think Judas felt a lot of guilt. Okay? God didn't need to punish him. He was punished, believe me. Huh. All right, let's keep going. Muslims who had nothing to do with Jesus say that he was chosen, and Allah will never let such a sufferer to harm his messenger. He would never have such a suffering to harm his messenger. He did it. He let the devil do it to Jesus. The devil did a lot to Jesus. Do you remember the 40 days in the desert? Okay? Oh, God wouldn't let him. God did. He let the devil do it, dude. Now I'm a little hot. Do you guys not believe that he walked in the desert for 40 days with the devil? I got to stay calm here. You guys don't understand our religion. I mean, I don't understand yours, but it really sounds like you don't understand ours. I mean, do you not know all the stuff? God put him through that stuff. And God put Job through a lot of crap, too. What do you mean he wouldn't let somebody suffer? He almost made Abraham kill his freaking son, Isaac. What are you talking about? He wouldn't put... That's suffering right there. Wait until he almost did it. Okay, don't do it. Oh, you never put somebody through that kind of suffering. What did he do to the world? He flooded it, right? Oh, even you guys believe that. Let's keep going. Like Abraham, when the king threw him a massive hot fire, Allah commanded the fire to become cold and peaceful to save his messenger from such a suffering. The suffering that the prophets are dealing with is from their hearts for Allah's case, and it's part of their message. But massive suffering to death, no. I respond to him. I could point to things like when Daniel was thrown in the lion's den. God protected him. He can protect, but sometimes he doesn't protect. Understand? It depends on the situation. Okay? And he responded back to me, yes, exactly, thank you. Exactly. He can protect, but he doesn't always. Okay? When he's trying to prove a point or save humanity, then he doesn't. I have a lot of trouble understanding how, okay, if Jesus is a Messiah, all right, then why are you so against us having him be... Oh, no, I'm sorry. If Jesus was a messenger, why are you so against his, the message that we have gotten from him? You know? Whether it's true or not, why are you against what we believe? You know? It's almost like things have been created to make us disagree, but when you actually look at those things, they don't matter. You know? Let's take Jesus and Muhammad out of it. Say there is no Jesus, there's no Muhammad. We believe in the same God, right? Am I right or am I wrong? I often tell Democrats, take Trump out of it. Trump is no longer the president. His name is John Smith. Now tell me the policies you don't like, and you know nothing about John Smith. He's got the same policies as Trump, though. They don't know what to say then, because it's usually, orange man bad, orange man crazy, blah, 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 orange man. I'm like, there is no orange man. Tell me the policies you disagree with. And the only one they got is ICE. That's it. You got one thing you like. or you guys are, really passionate about. ICE is the whole issue. We wouldn't even need ICE if Biden wouldn't let all these people in here, okay? So if you want to be mad at somebody, you be mad at Biden for bringing them all in here, because now we have to get them out. Now, I didn't need to switch to politics, but I'm making a point here. I think that this crap is just meant to divide us. I think we believe in the same God. And you guys are nitpicking at little details. Well, we don't believe in three gods. We don't either. One God. Okay? Well, we don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. Okay, fine. He wasn't the Son of God. I'll give you that. Okay? Fine, he wasn't. Just make him a Messiah. Does that make you okay then with us? I will give you lots of points on this issue. But I'm still coming back to, if there was no Jesus and no Muhammad, we'd be praying to the same God. And this Muhammad guy comes along and then makes up this story. Not saying he did, but he could make up this story, okay? Who could care if he's happy being a monk, okay, and not having a great lifestyle? He still is telling everybody that he's the last prophet, and what he says goes until the end of time. And you guys are perfectly okay with that. Oh, it hasn't been altered. Maybe not, but he is the only person that can verify its truth. We don't have God here to tell us that he actually told that person that. You guys are putting a lot of faith in that Muhammad guy. Maybe it's justified, but you guys got to show me more stuff, because I'm not seeing it right now. And when you say what we did to Jesus and all that stuff, that is what we believe had to happen. I am not mad at the Jews for doing that. If they did not, our salvation would not be what it is. That's what we believe. Now, maybe it's wrong, but you really don't know that. I really don't know that. This is what we believe, okay? There is no way to prove it until we die. No way. It's all faith-based. This has been a great CatCast, and we are out of time. But I love doing these. Please keep responding to me in nice ways, and we will keep dialoguing, because this gives Cat goosebumps. The hair on my arm stands up. Look at that. It is standing up. You see that? Because I like talking about this. And if that isn't God telling me, keep doing what you're doing, I don't know what it is. Because the devil doesn't give you goosebumps. No. That's God. Just my opinion. So, I love having you guys. I hope this is, I hope we are coming together and understanding what I'm trying to say. We love our God. It's probably the same God. We just don't agree on the stuff that came later. Do you think God is going to make a big deal about that as long as we're praying to the same God? When you have people telling you this is the truth, and these other people tell you this is the truth, and how are you supposed to know, God? How am I supposed to know, God, which one is right? Is God going to punish me for not knowing 2,000 years later? Or however, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, however long you want to say, It's a real dilemma when you look at it that way. You're going to be like, no, it's easy. But you have to think about it from another person's perspective. Because you think your God is right. Okay, I think mine is the same God as yours. I don't think God is going to be mad about me not praying 5 times a day. I don't think he's going to be mad about me not praying in a certain direction. I think he's going to be mad about me being mean, hateful, not a good person. Those are things that I think will weigh when he puts them on the scale, okay? You could pray 5 times a day and point in that direction and be a total a-hole to people. You think that's going to make God happy? Well, at least you prayed 5 times a day and you pointed the right way. No. 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 I don't believe that. And you're not going to convince me of it. But keep trying. This has been an excellent Catcast. Keep coming, people. Cha-ba-cha. I love you guys. We'll see you again next time. Bye now.